Hey, what's up guys, John here. Look at what happened while all of America slept last night. All of these new protocols, these new provisions, these safety checks just went into effect at airports worldwide. So if you're thinking about flying to LAX or JFK or Atlanta, maybe you want to go to Heathrow, maybe you want to go to Singapore or maybe Indonesia or Thailand or South Korea. Any of these countries, and there's a drop in the bucket because there's so many more. They're going to be checking all the passengers now that are traveling for this, this new spread, right? So you start to ask yourself, are we walking into a major problem? It's looking like we could be walking into something interesting here, to say the very, very least.
The situation constitutes a public health emergency of international concern.
And I think the economy, the last thing it needs is this problem, this situation. Because you start to look at where consumers are, look at where the world is. If things start closing down hypothetically, or new measures are unfolding, like what they've just announced in China they're going to be doing for the next 6 months, this begins to kind of move on a worldwide stage. Look at what happened with the vessel in Argentina. Turned out to be no issue, at least that's what the mainstream media reported. But they stopped the ship. They took the safety measures, the precautions. Are they going to be doing this on a worldwide stage? And if so, what is this going to mean for the world economy? What's this going to mean for consumers? What will inflation look like? Well, I'm going to show you on their sources what the mainstream saying is happening right now, what's unfolding at airports, what's going to happen to travel starting today, and why I think we should all kind of take this information in to make smart, wise decisions going forward. Please hit the like button, YouTube will share the content, educate more people about what's happening in our economy. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself what I believe is going to be the greatest rug pull, the greatest wealth transfer in American history, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free call for Monday. Take a look at this and check out reviews on Trustpilot. So a new strain, right, basically found in Thailand. These Asian nations have ramped up. Now look at the time, 2:50 a.m., right? Look at this, for example. This came out 5 hours ago. Right now I'm filming this video 9:07 a.m., right? So came out 4 in the morning. Then this is 10:55 p.m. or 10:55 a.m. for the UK, which was, we were all sleeping, right? Then you look at what happened last week. So you start to kind of follow these trends. You'll see that we're walking into something here. So potentially. So Thailand, which confirmed its first case, will begin surveillance and screening measures at its international airports. Okay, so you have Thailand. Singapore stepped up its precautions. On Thursday, temperature and visual screenings will be implemented for inbound travelers and crew arriving from flights to certain airports. Then South Korea. South Korea has redesignated a quarantinable, right? So the country's health authorities said on Tuesday, inbound travelers from 8 African nations will need to report, right? Then Indonesia, popular destination, it says installed thermal scanners for international travelers, international arrivals. Philippines, Malaysia, right? So these airports are doing different things. Like, look at this. They've required to monitor health for 21 days after arrival to Malaysia, right? So you see all these Asian nations doing that. You're like, okay, well, that's Asia. Maybe you're not going there, right? Maybe it's not going to impact you just yet. Well, let's look at what's happening in America. In the United States, they are now partnered with the Department of Homeland Security at major airports, including JFK in New York, LAX, Atlanta International, passengers arriving from regions where this is known. And they say here that, one of the primary difficulties lies in the incubation period, which can last 5 to 21 days. This is what they're reporting. And so if they're saying, they're going to do screenings, but they say, the incubation period is so long, it might not be effective. What they're really kind of communicating to me is that additional measures may have to come into effect to prevent this, right? Meaning things could potentially get worse for the U.S. economy. Things could really be changing, in a very big way for America. I mean, look at this, for example. Major airport to enforce health screenings, and this is in the European Union. And you start to just kind of look at this, and you'll realize This is Madrid, right? Realize if it's happening in the UK, if it's happening in Madrid, it's happening in Asia, it's happening in America. I mean, how is this? This was announced 8 days ago, last Thursday, right? 8 days ago. So, they went out there saying, this is an emergency. Then 8 days later, boom, here we are right now. Are we walking into a really big issue? Well, let's look at this. So, August 15th, when the day that it was announced, they said that they're going to monitor arrivals of people and goods for this. China will monitor people and goods entering the country for the next 6 months, a statement from its Customs Administration said on Friday. Personnel from countries they're saying that basically this is hitting a lot of different countries right now, but they're saying that who have been in contact with this, their display symptoms should initiate and declare themselves, right? So vehicles, containers, goods from areas should be sent to that. So you think about that. If they're going to be doing that with freight, they're going to have a vessel or some major shipment, and they have to do that to the entire ship. How is that not going to add delays and costs that will then get passed on to the consumer? How? I don't know. Maybe there's a way around it, but I just don't see that. I don't see how that happens. And then this came out saying that basically this could be an imminent danger to the United States and Western nations in the case of this South Asian travelers traveling to the U.S., UK, and other areas affected. So you kind of look at how fast this is going. I mean, look at this, for example. So if you look at it, exclusive 1 hour ago, that they partnered talks to start buying this, right? 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago. I mean, all of these different nations. I mean, let's look at just the last 24 hours. The last 24 hours, it's all about distribution. All about distribution, 10 pages talking about this. Buying more, it signals to me that we could be walking into a change, a big change. And so they say here that that its partners, they can start buying this, and it's going to Africa. I mean, what do you think about this? Do you think we're walking into a scenario? I mean, look at this. Do you think we're walking into a scenario where we could see heightened fear? I'm not saying that this is going to be a major problem. I have no idea. I have no clue. All I talk about in this channel is personal finance, real estate, business, and money. But consumer confidence and perception of the economy matters. And if people start seeing, what's unfolding, and maybe there's delays and people can't travel, what would that mean for somebody that is running a business? What would that mean for, someone that needs to buy and ship items or distribute items? It would mean delays. It would mean financial problems, right? Could we be walking into a scenario like what we've seen several years ago? And again, I'm going to be very clear. I'm not saying we are, but I'm saying the fact that all of these airports have just announced this, it's concerning, right? It's concerning. It's leading me to believe that the next 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 months, maybe, probably the next 6 months or so, could be pretty hectic. I mean, look at what just happened in Canada just yesterday, impacting 9,000 workers. The two major railroad companies that are bringing a third of all items into America through the U.S.-Canada border are being basically halted right now. They're saying that there could be temporary delays and where car manufacturing plants shut down because of these delays. They're talking about fertilizer shortages and all these different problems. You start looking around what's happening in the world, it's we're not in 2018, 2019 anymore. In fact, I think that the next year or two will probably be a hell of a lot more reckless and insane than the former year or two. I think things are going to probably get a lot worse. Just overall in the economy, I think things are just going to get more challenging. And so if you are a business owner and you start looking at what a lot of these big corporations are doing, it kind of makes sense. Look at what these big corporations are doing. They're cutting costs. They are really, really focusing on their bottom line. They're not taking unnecessary risk. They're stacking cash, and they're putting themselves in a position to weather a storm. Same thing Warren Buffett's doing, right? Same thing a lot of these billionaires are doing. You have 1,500 plus CEOs step down at the end of last year, and so far in the first quarter of 2024, 1,500 CEOs. It's the highest since 2002, in the last 22 years. And so when you have record high CEOs stepping down, billionaires unloading stock, massive layoffs at tech companies, you have all of these other problems unfolding in the economy. I don't think now is a great time to take unnecessary risk. I think that you probably will get rewarded if you're sitting in a lot of cash and you are in a really strong financial position or have great credit or have stable income in the next year or so. I think there, without doubt, a lot of people are so leveraged right now across the board, whether it be auto loans, home loans, business loans. People are just to the teeth in debt. And if the world changes and things get a lot harder, how many are going to be able to hold on? I guess we're going to find out. What do you think about this entire situation? Do you think we could be walking into a really big problem like what we saw several years ago, where things just start getting really, really hectic and we just start to see a lot of change? Let's talk about this below. And if you need help fixing credit to position yourself, what I believe without doubt will be the greatest wealth transfer in American history in the next year or 2 years, we'd love to help you. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative or derogatory items on your credit report, go to greatcreditfast.com, click the link in the description just below this video, schedule a free call for Monday. Check out views on Trustpilot and catch you next video.